because, you know, whoever owns your Bitcoin, see what they're into, see what they're attached to, and if any moves by a rival corporation or they themselves is going to affect your investment. Don't get caught up in it. Don't get swept under the rug like a lot of people might be about to. And you know, might make the right investment, you know, decisions. And you know, it's really up to you guys to decide, you know, what you're going to do with that. But I want to touch on that briefly. A lot of people have a lot of questions about it. And, you know, I don't like to really tell people where to put their money at. This is not, you know, the platform for that. So now also a lot of people are still concerned about the Africans in Libya, the ones that have been, you know, supposedly put into slavery or what have you. Now, you know, a lot of people, if you remember, if you watch the videos, I talked about this years ago, you know, and the first video I put out on Islam, you know, I think I called it the ignorance of the black Muslim. In that video, you can check that out. And in that video, I talked about Africans still being enslaved in Africa. This is something that everybody knows about, that they know about. You have a lot of on record church groups, Christian groups, who have went into Africa, who have paid mercenaries and paid, you know, soldiers to help them to go in and free Africans from slavery, you know, by the Arabs. And of course, because as I talked about in the video, a lot of them have been kidnapped and put into slavery and forced to do unspeakable things, forced to convert to Islam and all kinds of stuff. So you had these Christian groups going out basically trying to save these people. And along the way, I mean, they was finding bodies, and I mean, it was horrible, all kinds of mass graves. And, you know, this is something that has been known for years. So what you have probably come to realize, those who looked into the whole thing and didn't just repost, is that a lot of the pictures they put up and showed were old pictures. A lot of the pictures, like the one with the guy, this picture right here, he has a gun to this guy's head. A lot of people thought he was a slave, but this is from the Gaddafi regime, when they thought this guy was one of his, somebody who worked for him. And a lot of the other pictures are from Boko Haram. A lot of those pictures you see with people in large groups are Boko Haram and their families, who was rounded up and set down like that. And a lot of the times you see the bodies on the ground, those were members of Boko Haram who was shot up and killed by many different groups. You have, you know, the militia that was basically trying to find them and hunt them down. Just regular people somehow got their hands on AK-47s and was trying to basically stop them. If you don't know about Boko Haram, I mean, they've been killing Africans for a while now. You know, it's been horrible what they have been doing. So a lot of those pictures that you have been seeing, you know, all this stuff has been a distraction. It's been a fabrication to some point. But slavery has been going on in Africa for a long time. To me, it never stopped as far as my research. And they already know about it. So for the media to jump up all crazy and come out and start putting these pictures up and everything at the time that they did, it was like, for what? This stuff has been going on for years and not one word. Now all of a sudden, you know, they want to come out and make this huge announcement and distraction of what's going on in Libya and leave out, you know, the other countries and so many other people who was going through, you know, unspeakable crazy things in Africa, you know, because of a lot of these terrorist groups and, you know, a lot of the stuff that these Europeans have caused in Africa. So a lot of people got to be really diligent about what they pay attention to. Stop just reposting without, you know, doing your due diligence, doing your research, and paying attention to what's going on. But a lot of that stuff is a distraction. Not saying that slavery is not going on. As I said, it has been going on for years. It's just really fishy that they come out now, you know, and start talking about it. So it's just something to be aware of. But, you know, you got to look at everything. I always tell you guys to be really mindful of what the media talks about. You got to really just understand. Every time you see something, you have to keep in mind who owns the media and what the agenda is. That's really the question, you know, when it comes to the media. You know, what is the agenda? Keep in mind, whenever you see stuff like this, it's always an agenda. The people who are oppressing you own the media, and they have an agenda about what they are telling you. They're not telling you something for your own good. It's for their agenda. So we got to keep that in mind and pay attention to stuff that we see And I'm still shocked to this day that so many people believe, what the news media puts out, what they talk about. And, everybody just buy everything hook, line, and sinker as far as what the media, repeats and puts out and lies about. And we can't believe what they're talking about. We can't really, dig into it. And a lot of the stuff that they put out that is true, they probably caused it, or, it's a distraction from something else or what have you. So it's really, I don't believe them. I don't trust nothing that they say. I don't trust the weather. I don't trust the time. I don't trust nothing that they put out. And I'm always cautious about when they're speaking on something. So even with this whole, repeal of net neutrality and them being so concerned about it, I'm cautious about that. We don't know if it was a Trojan horse, if the whole thing is a setup for something else, so, it's tough. You got to always kind of sort of be cautious about what they report on and what they put out. And, ask yourself, what is the agenda? What is the point of that? What is really going on? And I talked about it before. As I said, they are coming for the internet, and the whole thing with this whole, advertiser friendly thing on YouTube was the first sign that they are basically coming for freedom of speech, and they're coming for people being able to put out content that is, conscious and informative to the public. So I wanted to touch on these things real quick and, get people to really, just really rethink and look into stuff a little bit more. A lot of you guys probably know this stuff already or did your own research, but it's something I wanted to talk about because I get a lot of messages and comments about the whole thing, and people looking for the next thing, what's going to happen, what's coming. Everybody expects something to come, because of Trump, what's going on and everything we've been seeing. Everybody waiting for the hammer to fall. And I want you guys to understand the hammer does not have to fall. You got to stop thinking about this stuff being written. This stuff's supposed to happen, and we're supposed to just sit around and wait for them to beat us over the head with the bullshit. And you got to realize that your actions make a difference. What you do, what you post, what you put out, the things you speak about that they are monitoring is huge. So, they don't go a certain way because it's so much backlash, because of something. So even when information goes out, a lot of times it don't be the media that puts it out, it'd be social media, and the buzz on social media is so big that the news they have no choice but to speak on it and address it. And because so many people was concerned about a certain thing, maybe their agenda didn't go, as planned. What they was trying to do didn't happen. You have to understand that, your input can influence, it can change, it can make a difference. What you talk about, what you post, what you engage in is huge, especially now with this social media age and everything being blown up and, people sharing content and all that. What we post and what we share is huge. So a lot of us is caught up in posting and sharing so much stupid, funny stuff. And this is why, it's out there. It's out there to distract us and to keep us away from really focusing on content and, stuff that matters. I like when I'm on the timeline and I see conscious information flood through the timeline. I mean, people talking about stuff that really matters instead of laughing at stuff that don't. And, we're not really in a position to be joking around right now. We don't, we're kind of sort of walking on eggshells. We don't know what's really going to happen. That's how a lot of people feel. But as long as you stay engaged in what you understand is right and what's true, and you do your research and you put your energy and time behind sharing and, promoting and pushing something that's really going to help, that's really good for you and everybody else, then this is the kind of stuff that will get through or hinder anything that that's really going to hurt us. So it's really important that you really be mindful of what you share, what you post, and what you put your energy into, because, a lot of this stuff is nonsense, but this is something that is important. Net neutrality is important. It's huge. And, nothing should change as far as the internet right now. I mean, they did a couple little things that I'm not cool with as far as these platforms like YouTube and Facebook and what have you, but that's what you get when you get involved with them. You got to get your own platform, which is what I'm about to do. So long as things stay the same, it's cool. Nothing needs to change. They don't need to add unless it's for the better. They definitely do not need to take away. So we need to really stay focused on that. I'm on it as far as me, because it affects me and my future, and your guys' future as well. So be mindful of what you put your time into. So, you know, definitely wanted to address these things. So now, last thing I want to get into is the people who I use, the companies that I use to basically put out my content, put out the DVDs or what have you. Their prices have went up for whatever reason. So my cost has went up. So the prices on the DVDs will go up and the downloads as well. Now, they won't change immediately. The prices went up already on my end and their end, but I have not changed it for you guys yet. I'm trying to keep it the same way, you know, at least until New Year's. But any new DVDs that come out will go back to the original price, as well as the downloads, anything new that comes up. But everything that's out right now will stay at that price, at least until, you know, after New Year's, and maybe longer if I can keep it that way. If the prices go back down for us, then I will, you know, make the prices back to normal. I have actually been, I lowered the price, as everybody know. I cut them in half. Sometimes I take it down to $10. I have always, you know, jumped up and down with the prices. I tried to keep them at this point, but there's only but so much I can control. When the prices go up, they go up. There's nothing I can do about that. So, you know, if you see the newer DVDs prices go back to normal, you know, this is why. So yeah, I wanted to give you guys a quick heads up on that, so people don't be emailing me all crazy like, what, you know, what's up with the prices. So the new ones will go back to normal. Everything that's out now will stay at the price that it's at till the end of the year, or maybe a little bit longer. So just want to make you guys aware of that. And, you know, I appreciate the support and everybody who does purchase. As I said before, I'm not getting super rich off this stuff. They regulate, you know, that whole situation, which is what I talked about before. So they control who sees the ads, who can use the links, who can buy what. So this whole thing with them, you know, net neutrality and them trying to basically stop people from controlling the net, what have you, is bullshit. If you want a platform, they can control that platform. So understand that. And they have been controlling it for a while, you know, as far as YouTube and Facebook, and controlling what content reach everybody and reach certain people. You know, so this is something, again, that we just have to be mindful of and look into. And we already know what they're trying to do. We understand they're coming for the internet, and they just doing what they're doing now. Same thing they trying to do with gun control. Keep pounding it, you know, thing after thing, false flag after false flag, and, you know, to no avail. People ain't stupid. They're not going to give up their guns. We damn sure ain't giving up the internet. They will get a hefty fight from everybody if they try to do that. So as long as we keep voicing our opinion and sharing this stuff and voicing our disdain and hate for what they're trying to do, they won't be able to do it. So we got to stay on top of that. And I'm definitely going to, you know, put out as much information as possible on this whole thing. But, you know, lastly, again, you know, be mindful of your investments. Understand that, you know, when you put your money in something and you invest in something, do your homework on it first. There's a lot of other things besides cryptocurrency that has been, you know, really lucrative for years that, you know, you can always make a quick buck and make money on when you understand the market. You know, I'm just going to, you know, I don't want to mess up nobody's money or what have you. So I don't really give out too much stock advice, because if I say invest your money here and you lose money, you know, I don't want anybody crying to me. So, you know, I will eventually talk about some things that's possible for guys to, people to invest in, and you know, it's up to you to invest or not, but this is something you should look into personally and understand what you can do, what you can handle as far as a financial investment before you you go ahead and stick, you know, your whole life savings on a cryptocurrency. You know, invest in something safe, you know, gold, silver, silver dust, gold dust, you know, weed, drones. And those two are quick ones that I can give you. Weed and drones. Drones are going to go up. If you know about any drone companies that has stock, invest. It's going to go up, because they are trying to pass laws to where the fire department and the police department will be using drones, and possibly soon the postal service. So drone corporations, their stocks is going through the roof. So that's something you can look at. But I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch and support. Appreciate everybody who's been supporting. And yeah, see you guys next video.